Hello guys, and welcome to the Survival Inc. server, or just the Survival Inc. map. My name is Codewing, and today we're going to be looking at something that I did on the Survival Inc. server a while ago. It was a nether farm that we built, and it took quite a lot of work, and I wanted to show it off to everybody because I never really got a chance to, but it was something I'm quite proud of and quite interested in showing you guys so you guys can see some cool things that were done. Some of you may be thinking, why are you on the Survival Inc. server? You haven't done an episode for some time. And why are you making it now? And there's a reason for that, and I will not get to it, but I will get to it, but I will get to it later in the episode. And some of you may be just saying, what is the Survival Inc. server and what are you doing on here? So I will get to all that later, but for now, I really just want to show off the farm and show you what has been done here, because this is one of the craziest things I think I've ever done in Minecraft, along with the other guys that were on the server. So with that, I will go in. So this is a nether farm. So the goal of the nether farm is to collect drops from wither skeletons, blazes, zombie pigmen, skeleton, anything that you can get from the nether, basically, besides ghast, I guess. Magma cube, anything. Is the whole point of the farm. So here's the first peek at it. It may take a little while to load in. It's quite a huge area. So this just brings back some memories, I guess. So you may be looking at it and go, what is wrong with this? Why is that ceiling look so weird? The ceiling is all glass, and it's all the way down to, let's see what level we're at. Level 32 to bedrock, which is like 116, so it's about, what is that, 80 levels if my math is right, that were mined down. The perimeter around this is a 128, if I get this wrong, I think it's a 128 radius from the actual farm itself, so 128 blocks in each direction around the farm, and it's like a oval shape, I guess, or I think it might be called an ellipsis shape. How did that guy spawn there? So the whole point of the farm is that all spawning pads, anywhere that you can spawn, has been blocked, and there is no places for mobs to spawn. But I'm very curious how this guy just spawned over there. Maybe there's a spot still left, but the whole place, as you can see, there's no gas. You don't hear any gas around. There's no zombie pigmen anywhere. Everything's been slabbed, so now no zombie pigmen can spawn, except for in the actual farm itself. That gas that you just heard probably is outside the perimeter. So yeah, the perimeter is all these iron bars and nether brick that you see. Pretty crazy. So this is the actual farm itself here. And as you can see, there's drops already coming from it. Some blazes and things. And we have a few beacons, so if we have some beacon effects. Yeah. And so we have some beacons floating over the lava here. You may think, like, why are they placed like that? That looks kind of weird. In order for us to get the beacons to work, we had to put them in certain spots, and so they were placed strategically based on the spots that were actually available. You can't just place a beacon anywhere in the nether and get it to work. There's a little bit of science to it, I guess. Getting a little bit of lag, but I'm going to go park my horse down in our little garage for parking horses. Somebody else's horse was parked here, I guess. So this map that I'm playing on is actually a little bit old. I think this was back from like October, and it's now December is when I left the server, and I took a backup of the map before I left. Yes. So let's get to the actual farm itself. So these areas right here is the actual part of the farm itself. Each one of these lanes represents an area where mobs will spawn and drop into, and we'll be able to do one-hit kills against, okay? So each of these lanes also had to be an area where there was a nether fortress. So the nether fortress spanned on all three of these lanes as well, so we could get the wither skeleton drops and the blazes to drop. Otherwise, if you don't include part of the fortress, you won't be able to get those types of drops, and it would just be a zombie pigman farm. So each one of these long lanes, like this whole length, is areas of the fortress that were just kind of singled out and what they were going to be used to farm with, or to farm the skeleton, or farm all the mobs. That's what I'm trying to say. We built in a crusher system to it so that with the flick of a lever, the mobs are crushed to be one hit. As you'll see, they're up there right now, getting crushed. And once they reach the proper crush, they'll drop. And they're caught by some vines on the inside, as you can see here. And then they drop, and they're ready for one-hit kills. All this stuff right here, you just punch them. Maybe it takes 2 hits for some of them, but for the most part it's 1. You punch them, and then they just drop. All their drops go either into your inventory right away or into these hopper systems below, which will lead to a sorting system. And as you can see, this is pretty quick. I think it's the most efficient farm you could probably get in terms of another farm. Maybe it could be better if it was on top of the Nether, but inside the Nether itself, this is probably one of the most efficient farms you can get. There's tons of drops that come, and you quickly get these lanes filled up, and you're constantly just running around punching them because there's just so many. I think I calculated before, or not calculated necessarily, but I've tested before, and I think within maybe 5 minutes, every 5 minutes at most, you get a skull from the wither skeleton, so it's quite efficient in that regard too, if you think about how low the drop chances are of getting a skull. I think I have a looting sword, yeah. Maybe I'll try it out and see if we can get one to drop. But you get, as you can see, you're going to get tons of drops in here. Skeletons, wither skeletons, blazes, zombie pigmen, and magma cubes even. But it's really quite a cool design to it, I felt. And John, one of the guys I worked with on the server, he was actually responsible for the design itself. I was responsible for more of the grunt work, and I helped a little bit with some of the design here, like on how to kill the kill zones for these. But for the most part, it was John coming up with the ideas. It's quite a brilliant mind to him for coming up with this crazy idea. So that's kind of the farm itself. There's also a kill switch mode where if you turn this on, then the mobs will no longer drop. It will just kill them in the crusher, and then you'll get all the drops. They'll just fall straight into the hoppers. And so the drops you only get from that are the zombie pigmen drops. The blazes don't drop anything unless you hit them. The same thing with wither skeletons and skeletons. So actually skeletons might. I think they might. But so this is just killing them right up there. They're all going to be crushed to death instead. So it's just a little toggle for it. But I'm going to turn both off right now. Getting a little bit of lag, a little block lag. Any overflow you can just dump into this chest. I think all these things just drop from those. And then it goes in down below to the sorting system. So the sorting system is above this glowstone. You can't really see it, but it slides it all the way across from each of those lanes over to here to the actual sorting system, where it will sort each of the drops out. John designed this as well. I think the sorting system has been done before. Basically, you set the limit on the hoppers of what item you want to get through to each lane, and then it will pull those items and drop them into the chest, where you can then retrieve your drops. As you can see, each one of them here. Didn't get any wither skeletons, and these will light up too if you have any items in there. So we didn't get any wither skeletons on that one. You can hear the system clicking a little bit. I think that was for the overflow detection of some of these, because they just fill up so fast in here. Arrows and bones and zombie meat. So, but I mean, in that little session, you can see, you know, what we got from just farming that for like 2 minutes, and a bunch of other stuff in here too. So it's kind of neat, and these are just other drops. Let's see, what else do we got down here? This is quite cool, I think, what John did. He's I think he's the redstone genius behind all this stuff. But he set pretty much all this up. We got a simple enchantment station here with a record player. I got a little potion area with some netherwort growing, some speed potion it looks like, a little cow farm for books, and then I think there's a reed farm in the external part of the world. Lots of netherrack, lots of storage, all this cool stuff. But it's quite impressive. So you may be thinking, you know, how did you do this part? How was this done? And it was a lot of work over many months. I think I'm going to try to use his little elevator. I don't know if this will work. I'm trying. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't want to die. Okay. Oh god. Okay, there we go. So here is the top of the nether. Gas kitchen supplies. Oh yeah, I left this stuff here. Our gas name was going to be Tony, but we never caught one. So yes, now we are at level 120. It was even higher than I thought. So as you can see, this is a huge glass platform. This these glowstone here represent the corners of the farm, so that's really how big the farm is itself with the different lanes. And the rest of the area is the 128 diameter in each direction, as I said before. But this is just insane. If you look at this from above, it's crazy how much was mined out. And I think I may try to include a little bit at the end of this video just to show you what it looked like before. If I can, I might have some screenshots that I can maybe cycle through or something. But yeah, we mined all of this out. Not only mined, but also TNT bombed it, a lot of it, so that we could have the most efficient farm possible. I think the reason for the 128 diameter was that mobs will only spawn within the distance, that chunk distance from a player. So if the player is in the farm all the time, you wouldn't be getting mobs spawning beyond the border of the actual farm itself. If I'm explaining that correctly, I think I am. John may correct me. He's allowed to correct me if I'm wrong about this, but as you can see, this is just crazy. There was so much netherrack here that I'm going to change something real quick too on the video settings. I got my render distance maybe a little too far that it's freaking my computer out. But there was so much netherrack in this space you could not believe. And so that was part of the things that I was really responsible for and trying to push forward, was mining all this netherrack out and getting rid of everything in here. So I'll show you my statistics right now too. On the block statistics. So the few items of interest would be the netherrack itself, the TNT that was placed and used, however it's referred to, and the quartz. So let's see. Okay, I've used a lot of slabs, no big deal. Okay, TNT, 7,135 TNT used. I think it's used or placed or something like that. Quite a bit of TNT to get this job done. Where did we come up with all these resources? They were donated by other guys. Brad, I know, donated a ton to it. John donated a ton to it, where they had sand, farms basically, or the sand? There used to be a sand duplicator type trick that people used. We got a lot of sand from that, and we also got a lot of gunpowder from other farms, overworld farms, from creepers. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but this is a 100% vanilla server. Nothing was spawned in. There's people that took advantage of exploits of the game, like the sand duplicator glitches that occurred, but nothing was ever spawned in for this at all. So this is 100% survival, no op, none of that stuff going on. It was all survival. Let's see, what was the other statistic I wanted to look at? Netherrack. So here is netherrack. Netherrack placed, netherrack mined, 308,153 netherrack mined. Just crazy amount of netherrack that I had mined through this whole thing. Iron bars placed, all those iron bars that you saw. I placed a small fraction of them, but a lot of the other guys placed a lot more. Same thing with the nether brick. A lot of that placing and crafting even of it. We smelted a lot of the netherrack into nether brick so that we could use it later. Let's see what else we got. What was the other thing I was looking at? Quartz. So the quartz, quartz mined, 10,000 quartz mined. Quite a bit. May not seem like a lot just looking at it on there, but it was a ton. It was full. This thing was to the max here, so it's quite an accomplishment. I'm quite proud of all that work and that we stuck with it over the course of like 3 months. It turned out quite cool. I think it has a really awesome effect when you're above it. Each of these little spots here was like an island of netherrack, and we converted it to slabs. The nether brick slabs. Anywhere that you see the iron bars meant that it was an open area. Anywhere you see the nether brick meant there was netherrack there before. So you can kind of get an effect of kind of what it looks like from a skeleton perspective, like that it's all gone. But it's quite crazy, all the stuff that we did in here. Yeah. But yeah, I did do this alone at all. It was a lot of help from all the guys on the server, most notably John. Alex did quite a bit of the work too with planning. Jacob, Brad, Michael, Fabe helped out some. Who else were the other major guys? Some of the other New Zealanders that were on the server. Oh, I hope I don't die. Oh, okay, just a little bit of damage and no noise. That was weird. Okay, but yeah, let me see if I can get some more names in here. There's more guys that helped it. Yeah, TDS, one of the New Zealander guys. Jacob, Alex, me, Michael, and John. Yeah, those were the kind of the main workers on it, I'd say. We had donations from, like, Brad was a big donator to help us out. He gave us a lot of supplies so that we could make this work, but it's really quite awesome. This area is spawn proof. No mobs have spawned down here, right? Yeah, so that is really the farm. If you have any questions about it, let me know and I'll try to answer them as best I can. There's a whole system here for the crusher that has a hopper clock on it. It's quite cool too. I don't think I can really get up there to show you it, but not safely, at least. I don't think there's a safe way up anymore. But there's a whole hopper clock there that works to extend all these pistons and crush them all at the same time. Pretty neat as well. Let's see. And I guess I'll show you the crusher, the wither skeleton. So once you get your skulls, you can go make a wither, right? So we have a wither skeleton area as well that I'll show you over here. I think it was back up the stairs. May take a minute just to get there. This is just another thing that we kind of came up with, a cool invention that what ends up happening is I go, it'd be really cool if this could work, and then John goes, hey, I think I know a way to do that and I can build that. And I think that's how we did this. As I said, it'd be cool if there was a safe way to have a wither skeleton grinder that's not just, a manual flip of a lever. It's more automated and it can make sure that you don't screw up and accidentally have a wither spawn next to you. So we made a little area where we found a piece of bedrock that did that. And I'll run over here. Sprinting. Whee. I made this little walkway, this little cool effect of this stuff. So it's pretty simple on how it works. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. This is how many skulls I have right now. I had way more. Look at these beacons. I got just 5 beacons sitting in my ender chest that I didn't even use. Let's see. So you go a T shape first of all. So you do the 1, 2, 3 across. As soon as you do that third one over here, it drops that. Then you put your 4th one down. You place your 3 skulls, and it automatically over here pushes this up into the ceiling so he gets trapped. Kind of a cool little detector of the block, really, is all it's doing. And there we go. And then you just run up and smash it. This is loud. design before. I can't remember who it was now. Oh, I'm gonna be kicking myself. I don't remember who came up with who found out that you could shove them into bedrock and kill them that way. But yeah, we improved upon it a little bit, so that's a known thing. But we came up with this design to do this little detector to drop once this is placed, and then once it turns into a wither, it will then rise back up. So quite cool. Put these back in here, even though nobody's going to use them anymore because I'm playing single player. Here's the Nether star. So beautiful. I think that pretty much sums up the farm in itself. Well, I guess that one's going to stay unlit. I don't know if there's anything else that I missed that I want to talk about. Don't think so. So I'll talk a little bit about... let me go back to the farm, but I'll talk a little bit about what's going on with Survival Inc., what happened with Survival Inc., and yeah, just what's happening there. Some people may or may not know. Some people might not care, but I did end up leaving Survival Inc., the server, about 2 months ago when I left, and I was an admin on the server at the time, and I was pretty stressed out with a lot of things going on with my life, and not only my personal life, but everything that was going on with Minecraft. With we were at the time deciding whether or not to do updating the map to a whole new map and losing all that we did, starting something completely brand new, and I was not really for that, and I was trying to I was just trying to make sure that things were decided democratically, and that both sides were taken into account for that, at least. And some people may think that I overstepped my bounds on it, and maybe I did a little bit. But I ended up leaving the server, not just because of that, because I was stressed with my life at the time, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was just so frustrated with everything that was going on with my life and everything that was going on with the server at the time, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore, and I had to go. It was just too much for me that I couldn't do it, so I ended up leaving the server. I know these guys still play out there and they still do this stuff, but I ended up leaving because of that. So I'm no longer on Survival Inc. anymore, and I have no bitter feelings towards any of the guys. I know it was a lot of heated arguments at the time, and if any of those guys are watching, I have no hard feelings against any of them. They're all a bunch of cool group of guys, and I love playing with them, and I still love to play with them. If they talk to me or whatever it is, contact me in any way, I'd still play with them. It's just ended up leaving the server, and that was that. I just didn't see that it would work out for me well from there going forward. I kind of blew up and went off, and I just couldn't do it. So I hope that kind of explains a little bit about what's going on with me in Survival Inc. I just couldn't do it anymore, and I hope you guys can understand that. But fortunately, I think there's going to be some cool things coming in the future. I'm trying to get into recording a lot more YouTube videos lately, so it's definitely, stepping down as the admin has really freed up a lot of my time, even though it wasn't really that demanding of a task. But I feel more motivated to make videos now that I no longer have that responsibility, where I have to try to keep the wheels on the bus all the time and make sure that things are running. But yeah, I'm definitely more motivated to make Minecraft videos, and I think you'll be seeing a lot more from me in the future. So if this is your first time watching me, or you've been watching me for a while or whatnot, look for cool things to happen in the future. I don't know about things like this, because this was pretty awesome, or this is pretty crazy but pretty awesome, but you never know. I mean, I could build a version 2.0. I don't know if I'd be able to do that by myself, but you never know. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, please leave a like. It helps my channel grow, and it helps me out. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.